Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week of September 27th. We are just going to jump right in here, Aries, and we are going to see what is going on for you at this time. And I like it. This is one of my other favorite cards in this deck, this Yang energy. Kind of reminds me of like the Ace of Wands. So I definitely like to see that. There could be some action going on for you at this time, but let's see here what is going on for you. Boom, Ace of Wands, Aries, just like I said. So this is looking pretty good. You start off with this beaver spirit, says lay a solid foundation. I do feel like some of you have to have like a solid foundation. I feel like you need to open up to an opportunity that could be coming your way. A very clear story to me, Aries, in this reading. I feel that this opportunity has to do with your self-worth with the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles can represent kind of, and this is the energy that I'm feeling here with the Six of Pentacles. Like Six of Pentacles in reverse, for example, can represent kind of like not feeding a certain part of you, or it can represent neglecting a part of you as well. These two people here, it could be other people, but kind of like what I'm feeling for you is it's you. Like I feel like these are other people, other parts, other aspects of yourself that need some food, basically. And I feel like you need to feed something inside of you, and not literally with food, but, well, it could be, if you're suffering with your health or anything like that, could represent needing to be healthy, but I feel like it's bigger picture than that. I feel like it's more energetic, and it's something that you need to fulfill. You have the Nine of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Empress, like a very abundant opportunity here. I feel some of you could feel like a little beaten up here with the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords can represent, being stuck in a nightmare. It basically, this person on this card has had a nightmare. They have woken up and they're still in a nightmare. So I feel for some of you, you are feeling a little bit stuck in a nightmare here with this this card. I get like a little bit of a blindsided feeling as well. So if you've gone through like a separation or a breakup, this could be something that has happened, I would say, over the last few years. Doesn't even have to be right now. I feel like this is something you've been dealing with. And again, I just feel like a little blindsided, a little bit, something has shaken my confidence, I feel, in this reading. And that's how I feel like you're feeling, Aries. And I do feel the Empress here, to me, is kind of like saying that this is your opportunity to at a glow up here, Aries. I feel like this is your opportunity to kind of like get out of this energy. And sorry, I need water, so I'm getting the water out. But what I would say here is I feel like this is your opportunity to kind of like have your glow up, or to step into a much better energy. So let's see what comes up for you here, Aries, in this row. Again, I do feel like this has a lot to do with love. And so for those of you, that have been hurt in love in the past, but more like blindsided energy, something you thought was working, you're finding out didn't work. Yeah, with the Nine of Swords, you have the Fool. I do get that whole like needing to kind of like get back onto the horse type of energy here. So I do feel some of you could be getting into this energy where it's like you're opening up to dating or getting out there and meeting new people with the Fool. For others, again, I feel this is a little bit of a, I feel this is pretty much for all of you. Even if you are looking for love, I feel like for all of you, this is kind of like a big picture reading. And it's like there's something inside of you that maybe you have been neglecting, or there's something inside of you that you always maybe sacrifice for other people. And I feel this Six of Pentacles is like your most important card in this reading. Again, I read intuitively, and that's like the card that I am most drawn to here in this reading is the Six of Pentacles. I feel like it's saying like there is something inside of you that needs more like spiritual food, if that makes sense. And again, what I mean by that is it needs more, tender love and care, nurturing energy, or it just needs more attention. And it's something I also, the words that are popping into my head are, this is something that shouldn't be sacrificed. For some of you, I feel it's kind of like an interest. Like maybe you are interested in starting a new career, or doing something differently in your career or in work. I feel like that's something that needs attention. For others, it could just be like a hobby or something that you enjoy doing. And again, I feel like those things are important in life because, when we're taking part in like a hobby or an interest, it kind of balances our energy out. So something needs to be balanced out here. And I feel like the Fool is just saying, it's time to start again. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Swords. I felt it right away. I do not like the King and the Queen of Swords together here. To me, it's two people who clash. They are divine counterparts, but to me, the King and Queen of Swords are not good divine counterparts. They can be fighting. It could be one of a million things, but I kind of felt this right away. The word that was popping into my head was blindsided. So for some of you, I feel like maybe you've had a relationship in the past. Maybe you've had relationships in between, but I feel like there's something that from the past that you keep going back to maybe, or that you keep thinking about that was more of like this blindsided energy. It's kind of weird because I see a gap in my head. And so I feel for some of you, it's kind of like you have, forgotten about this energy, or maybe there have been times where you completely move on. But for some reason, it's coming back up. With the Empress, you have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, I would take care of yourself, nurture yourself, all those other things. Could be a water sign that you were dealing with in the past. I feel like this person is crazy. This is the words that are popping into my head. Some of you could have been dealing with a person who is literally nuts in the past. I get a very chaotic energy here. I feel like this person is just a hurricane every single place that they go, a tornado, right? And maybe you're starting to see that. Maybe you're starting to realize that. For others, again, I do feel there is something inside of you that needs some more nurturing energy. That's the best way I could put it, especially with this Six of Pentacles here. Pretty straightforward reading. I would like to know, if it doesn't show up, we're probably going to pull an extra row because I want to know, why. Why is this so important? Next, you have this embracing card here. I feel like you're just learning to embrace something's nature over here. It's kind of I feel like life gets a lot easier if we can do this. If we can realize that, I always tell a story about the scorpion and the toad, but it's if we can just realize that some people act a certain way because of past traumas, it just is what it is, life gets easier because then we stop trying to change people or heal people that really need to heal themselves. That's the thing. Is we really can't heal anyone on our, we can't do anything, right? Someone has to be willing to be healed in the first place. And that's popping into my head. For some of you, I feel like you're kind of just embracing the people for who they are, especially if you've dealt with conflict with a person from the past. And I feel like it's just making it easier to kind of move along and heal the situation. You have the Four of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Five of Wands. I can't get over this feeling that I have here, Aries, where I really feel like you're kind of taking your power back here. This is not just in love either. I feel like this is in other areas of your life, including work or business, is what I would say here. I'm getting some major conflict vibes on this King of Swords here. I feel like you are looking at it the wrong way. This is weird how this is popping into my head, this energy. I feel like it's almost like saying that if you're doing the right thing, I feel like you are going to be experiencing some resistance. And especially in work or business. And here's what I mean by this here, Aries. It's the best example I can give you is YouTube because this is what I do. But I feel like you could be experiencing resistance in the sense that sometimes I think on YouTube, it's I've seen it happen to other YouTubers where it's they actually start doing something that's gaining some traction and they get a bunch of haters coming out of the woodwork. So then they stop doing something that was working. I'm those people are hating on you because what you're doing is working. They're not hating on you because they don't like what you're doing, right? So I get that for you here, Aries. That's the best way I could describe it. I feel for some of you in work or business, if you're making some changes or if you're kind of looking to grow, the haters could be kind of all of a sudden appearing and being I don't like this idea, and I feel like you need to kind of learn how to tell the difference between something that is just someone being a hater and someone who's actually providing kind of good advice. What I would say to you is I only take advice from people who have experience. So, if someone's coming at you and they're saying, I don't like this idea, whatever, running their mouth, right? Sharing their little, peanut gallery 2 cents. It's if they have never done what you're doing before, then plain and simple, throw it out, right? That's what I would say here, especially if they haven't done something. It's kind of weird because I get these I get this really good energy here in this row where it's like you're going in the right direction, Aries, but it's just like you could be dealing with some people who are kind of like, causing problems or trying to hold you back here. Let's see where this is going, Aries, and let's see what's going on for you at this time. With the Four of Swords, you have the Empress. Definitely glow up vibes here, glow up energy. Like I said, I do feel like this is kind of like a glow up reading, whatever you want to call it. The Empress, she understands her power as well. She has this kind of waterfall back here, and the waterfall represents chaotic force. It, represents things that are outside of her control that she can't, change. And, that's kind of like jumping out at me on the card for you here, Aries, especially since you have it twice. And it's kind of like saying, but at the same time, it's like she sees it, she recognizes it. So if something does change, she's not surprised, right? And I think that's like an important thing in life is like there are people who just kind of get swept away with the tides of the ocean, right? There are people who just get sucked up in emotion and all these other things. And then there are people who recognize it and can control it. And I feel like that's the place that you're getting to. Speaking of getting swept away by the tides, she, on the Eight of Swords, is fearing that she is going to be swept away by the tides, but she's standing in the shallow water, but the tide is coming in. If she just leaned up against these swords and she, her hands would be free, she would be able to take her blindfold off, and she could easily set herself free. So I feel like some of you, there is a need to set yourself free. For some of you, it's kind of weird. I get these like devil vibes here on this reading, where it's almost like you're, I would be careful of it, like if you're dealing with someone who is very emotional, I'm just getting this weird vibe here where it's like you could be being controlled by a person who's very emotional. That's, again, you would know if this story is for you because I feel like you have a person who's very emotional in your life. But I would be careful of being emotionally taken advantage of. Someone who gets emotional every time you want to make a change. Someone who gets emotional every time you want to do something, right? I would be careful of that. Some of you, this could be a past person. With the Five of Wands, you have the Knight of Swords here. Yeah, by the way, I would definitely, Mercury retrograde, I would be very careful of arguments in the home, arguments in relationships, all relationships, anything like that. This is my combination of just like arguments that don't need to happen. To me, Mercury retrograde is never a good time to have an argument, especially in the home. Same thing with Mars retrograde. Mars isn't going retrograde, but, kind of like the same energy as far as arguments are concerned, because both people lose, is what I'd say. I'd say in most arguments, both people lose, but definitely during Mercury retrograde, it's just like a lose-lose situation. So I would avoid arguments here. Here at the end, you have the Yang energy. This is all about kind of like getting started, number one, and taking action. But it's also an energy of doing things that you desire to do. And that's why I love the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is a card of your desires and needing to do the things that you desire to do. Again, I keep telling people, it's like, I know that I'm like beating a dead horse here, but mark my words. When we get to 2025, people, and beyond 2025, obviously, but like 2025 is like the kickoff for, this energy where I feel people are going to become like much, much more successful following their desires. It's like there's going to be more opportunity for people to do things that they desire to do and maybe even make a living at doing those things. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's playing video games all day. There are already people who make a living doing that, right? So it doesn't matter what your passion is or whatever, but I feel like there are going to be more opportunities for people to kind of like, be successful based off of what they desire to do. I kind of go both ways on the whole having a passion-based business. And, there are a lot of people who say that you shouldn't have a passion-based business. I kind of agree. I do have a passion-based business right here, So I understand that advice, right? But I also feel that if you have a skill, I feel like you should use it. What I would say the better advice is here, Aries, like let's say you want to start a passion-based business, that's fine, but I would develop the outer skill. And what I mean by that is it's like, With me, for example, I'm here on YouTube. This is my passion is tarot, but it's like I can use my speaking skills for other things. So it would probably be a good idea right now, between now and 2025, for me to work on my speaking, for me to work on how I communicate and all those other things. So I would look at the bigger skill outside of whatever it is that you are passionate about, if that makes sense. And I'm kind of getting that energy here. So for any of you that want to have a YouTube channel or anything like that, again, I would focus on the bigger picture. Same thing with like any business as well. It's like if you have a business or a side business, it would be a good idea to focus on kind of big picture things like marketing, for example, because it's one of those things where it's like maybe you fall out of love with something, right? Maybe I will fall out of love with tarot. Doubt it. I'm just saying, right? Just giving you an example here. It's like if I have built a skill of communication, then I can take that skill and bring it somewhere else. That's why you want to really kind of focus on the outer skill. Kind of provides like a little bit of a safety net. For others, I feel like there's something that you truly want to be doing. I feel like I said this to you in your mid-monthly reading, maybe for the middle of September. I just get this feeling that you're not doing, some of you, not all of you, but I feel like some of you, it's like you're not doing what you really want. And I feel like something needs to be nurtured with that energy. You have the Six of Pentacles, the Strength card, and the Ace of Wands here. It's going to require work. It wouldn't really surprise me if a lot of you went back to school. Between now and like 2026 even. It wouldn't surprise, and maybe you're saying hell no right now, but in a couple of years things change, right? For others, you could be training yourself as well. Some of you might not even need to go to school. You might already have all the talents, gifts, skills, and abilities. Again, this is something inside of her. The lion right here, that's something, she is taming the beast inside of her. And like I said, I do feel some of you have something inside of you that needs attention. You know, again, he's not paying attention to this guy right here. So I feel for a lot of you, it's like there's something inside of you that needs some energy with this Ace of Wands. I feel like it's going to lead to a new beginning, a lot of success, just like good things in general. So let's see here, Aries, where is this going? With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Three of Swords. For some of you, you could be like needing to heal your heart. The Three of Swords with the Six of Pentacles is like forgiveness. And needing to forgive a person from the past. This person right here, whichever, it doesn't matter if it's the Queen or the King of Swords, it's like this right here is the person that needs to be forgiven. Could be a past air sign, Aries. And again, you're not forgiving this person to forgive them. You're doing it for yourself. So, you know, people always say to me, I'll never forgive this person. I'm like, okay, great. That person has three swords in your heart and for free. It's like that person is living in your head rent free if you don't forgive them, right? So it's like not forgiving someone only hurts you, it doesn't hurt the other person, is what I would say here. So definitely a good time for forgiveness and, you know, all that, and healing as well. With the Strength card, you have the Four of Swords again. You had the Four of Swords over here, and I was talking about how it's like a good time for resting, relaxing, recovering. It's a good time for, you know, but again, I kind of just get this understanding energy, and that's what I was talking about here, where it's like I just see you understanding like certain people's nature, and it's like you're accepting it. Maybe you're not okay with it, but I feel like you can look at a person, you can say they're this way because they have trauma, or they are this type of person because of X, Y, and Z. And it's like you're just learning to deal with the energy, right? And that's kind of what I get here. And with the Ace of Wands, Six of Wands, major success coming in for you. So I feel like there is success, abundance, good news, good things coming in for you with this energy, especially if you're like feeding the right things inside of you, Aries, with that Six of Pentacles. For those of you looking for love, I don't really see love here. I feel like this is more of a healing reading, is what I would say. I feel like you're focused on healing and healing yourself from past situations. And I also feel like you're more focused on becoming your own person. I always get that energy for you where maybe you've been living other people's lives for too long. So that's what I'd say here. I feel like a lot of you are getting ready for like a new beginning as well. But we're going to pull 3 yes or no question cards here, Aries, and we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. Actually, there's 3, 4. There's like 2 here, but if you have questions, 1, 2, and 3, feel free to pause this reading and think of your questions. If you don't, I'm just going to put all 3 together at the end as one. For question number 1, you have the Two of Pentacles. I would say no. I just intuitively feel no. I actually personally like the Two of Pentacles. To me, it's a good card, but I feel like saying no. For card number 2, I would say yes, Ace of Swords. So a victory coming in for you. 3 aces in your reading. Definitely a positive new beginning. And for question number 3, I would say yes, Chariot and the Page of Pentacles. Very good. So definitely a lot of positivity. This is definitely a new beginning as well. It's funny, I was getting something about a new beginning here. The Two of Pentacles is like trying to decide whether or not you go in one direction or the other. Ace of Swords is a victory. Page of Pentacles, something new. Chariot is a victory. He's also leaving this village, or the city that is behind him on the Chariot. Why won't that focus? I don't know. Whatever, Aries. But he's leaving that city that's in the background there. I feel like you always get the Chariot, because I'm always talking about how I feel a lot of you and you're the only sign that gets this, by the way, Aries. You know, I feel like a lot of you could be kind of leaving something that you've always known and moving on to something else. But again, I feel like you're expanding yourself with this energy. But really good at reading here, Aries. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.